They call it a wonder of the world, a symbol of glory, a majestic stone dragon winding endlessly through the mountains. We are told it is a monument to human strength and unity. But look closer. Look beneath the stones, because the Great Wall of China was not built by the people. It was built by fear. This is not just a wall. It is the single largest graveyard in human history, a colossal scar carved into the face of the earth by the will of one man, Emperor Qin Shi Huang. He didn't just want a barrier, he wanted a cage. And to build his monster, he paid a price that no history book dares to fully describe. Welcome to the true story of the dragon, the story built on bones. What you see on postcards, the pristine brick, the perfect towers, is a lie. That is the tourist trap, a mere fraction of the truth. The real wall is a ghost. It is a 21,000-kilometer beast that rots in the Gobi Desert and crumbles on forgotten peaks. It is a disjointed, chaotic network of rammed earth, jagged stone, and dried mud. It stretches like a broken spine across the continent. Most of it is invisible to the world, swallowed by sand and time. But if you listen to the wind in these abandoned places, you can almost hear the echo of the millions who stood here 2,000 years ago. They are not celebrating glory, they are screaming. 221 BC. China is united in blood. The first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, sits on a throne of skulls. He is a genius, and he is a madman. He is obsessed with immortality and paralyzed by paranoia. He looks north to the steppes where the Xiongnu barbarians ride. He sees a threat, but he also looks inward at his own conquered subjects. He sees rebellion. So he devises a plan so cruel, it is brilliant. He will connect the scattered walls of the old warring states. He will forge a continuous chain of stone and earth. To do it, he enslaves an army, not of soldiers, but of convicts, peasants, and enemies of the state. Hundreds of thousands of men are marched into the mountains. They are given a simple choice: build or die. Most of them did both. This was not construction. This was an extermination camp, disguised as a building project. The dragon demanded to be fed. But how? How does a structure built by Bronze Age tools survive 2 millennia of earthquakes, erosion, and war? The secret wasn't magic, and it wasn't just stone. The secret was hunger. Ancient Chinese engineers achieved a chemical miracle that modern science is still trying to fully replicate. To bind these massive bricks, they didn't just use lime and water. They used the very lifeblood of the empire's agriculture: sticky rice. Yes, the soup on your dinner table. They mixed a glutinous rice soup with slaked lime to create a composite mortar. The starch, amylopectin, created a bond so chemically tight, so impenetrable, that in many places, weeds still cannot grow through the joints today. It is harder than modern concrete. The irony is devastating. While hundreds of thousands of laborers were collapsing from starvation, the food that could have saved them was being poured between the stones. The wall was literally fed, while its builders withered away. It stands eternal because it consumed the sustenance of a nation. But rice was not the only organic material added to the structure. There is a grim calculation historians often whisper. For every foot of the Great Wall, human life was extinguished. Winter in the mountains is merciless. Summer in the desert is a furnace. Men died from exhaustion, disease, and the whip. When they fell, there were no funerals, there were no honors. Myth says their bodies were thrown inside the wall to act as filler. While archaeologists argue about the literal truth of bones inside the brickwork, the reality is hardly less grim. The wall is lined with mass graves. The foundations are anchored in soil mixed with the dust of the forgotten. It is said that Emperor Qin didn't just want a wall to keep the barbarians out. He wanted a barrier that separated the living from the dead. He succeeded. He created the longest cemetery on Earth. Such suffering leaves a mark that goes deeper than history. It burns into the folklore. Local villagers who live in the shadow of the wall don't speak of it as a tourist attraction. To them, it is a place of heavy energy. The Chinese maintain a deep spiritual reverence for ancestors, and here, the ancestors are restless. Walk the remote sections at twilight, far from the ticket booths. The wind here doesn't just blow, it howls through the arrow slits. It sounds like weeping. Many believe the wall is permanently garrisoned by the spirits of those who died building it, a spectral army that can never leave its post. They were conscripted for life, and they are bound to the stone with death. This is the flesh of the dragon, a composite of indestructible rice mortar and unquiet souls. So, we have a monster built on bones and starvation, a marvel of engineering. But here is the most painful question of all. Did it actually work? History delivers a brutal verdict. No. As a military defense, the Great Wall was a catastrophic failure. It was the most expensive Maginot Line in antiquity. When Genghis Khan and his Golden Horde arrived, they didn't waste time banging their heads against the stone. They simply rode around it. The wall is not a continuous circle. It has gaps. It has ends. The Mongols found them. Centuries later, when the Manchus came to conquer the Ming Dynasty, they didn't destroy the wall either. They didn't have to. They just bribed a general. The magnificent gates of Shanghai Pass were opened from the inside. The dragon didn't fall in battle. It was betrayed for gold. The wall was a terrifying scarecrow, effective against small raiding parties, yes, but against a true, determined army, it was nothing more than a speed bump. And the disappointments don't end on the battlefield. They reach all the way to the stars. You have heard the fact 1,000 times. It's in textbooks. It's in trivia games. The Great Wall is the only man-made object visible from space. It is the greatest marketing lie of the 20th century. NASA astronauts have confirmed it. Yang Li Wei, China's first man in space, looked out of his window, searching for the pride of his nation. He saw nothing. From low Earth orbit, the wall, which is only about 30 feet wide at its maximum, is narrower than a human hair seen from 2 miles away. It vanishes. But paradoxically, this invisibility is its true beauty. It wasn't built to be seen by gods. It was built to become the Earth itself. It follows the ridgeline so perfectly that it has ceased to be a building. It has become a geological feature, a spine of gray stone fused with the Green Mountains. So what is left? If it failed as a weapon, if it is invisible from the stars, if it is a graveyard of millions, why do we still look at it with such awe? Because the Great Wall ultimately won, not against the Mongols, but against the greatest enemy of all, time. Emperors have turned to dust. The dynasties that commanded its construction are gone. The borders it tried to define have been erased and redrawn 100 times, but the wall remains. It stands as a testament not to the power of tyrants, but to the endurance of the nameless. The hands that mixed the rice mortar, the backs that carried the stone up vertical cliffs. It is their monument. It is a scar on the face of the planet that refuses to heal. A reminder of what humanity can do when pushed beyond the limits of sanity and endurance. The dragon is no longer hungry, it is sleeping. It winds through the mist, silent and eternal, guarding nothing but its own memory. And perhaps that is the only victory that matters.
In the end, something always grows.